beat you, girl. Your love song is sad, but you don't wanna see. If we end up just stopping and we probably try. You and me could float the weather. Would you rather stay on shore so you can see what's next?
Information Man podcast can be heard on 9 major platforms. On the second YouTube channel as well, Information Man Speaks podcast. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Castbox, SoundCloud, and finally, Spreaker.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. The truth.
Cause you'd rather be with someone who can sponsor it. Looking to be rescued on the west side, south side. Used to be out of my mind. Trying to come up on a short thing, or giving up your dreams when nothing's ever guaranteed. Nothing's ever guaranteed. Why put yourself through agony?
What's up, everybody? This is the Information Man Speaks podcast. Thank you. Welcome to the program tonight. I want to shout out Nappy Yankee, who previously did a live stream about this particular issue prior to me. I want to shout out Max as well, who previously did a video on this very sensitive issue prior to me. So I want to definitely give them both a shout out. I also would like to shout out Sir Hale Speaks Network, who just gave me a super chat. Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Claps to you. Thank you. Welcome to the Information Man Speaks podcast. We do things a little bit different over here. And look, I've done some research on this whole situation, so you're going to be surprised to see some of the things that I'll present. Some of it similar. What I'm going to do, because the audio, as you know, of the Honorable Louis Minister Farrakhan was a little choppy here and there. So I'm going to play the original audio, but I was lucky enough to find the audio that also is not only the audio, but it's breaking down the words that he's actually saying. So you're going to see on the screen tonight, so that if you don't understand some of the things that are being said, the writing will be right on the screen like a Google Speak. It will break it down. I'm also going to get to the myth or the misunderstanding that, well, maybe this was leaked. I'm going to break that down for you tonight, because I have an exclusive video cut from a particular channel. I want to shout out Barbershop Conversation. And he had a member, someone who had 25 years in the Nation of Islam, and he explains what is a believer's meeting. What is it? He's going to explain it to you. He'll break down whether the meeting was actually public or actually private, private versus public. He's going to break some things down, because I know that some people were under the belief that this was leaked. And I'm here to tell you that it may not have necessarily just had to be leaked, and you're going to find out why tonight. On the Information Man Show, we're going to go deeper. We're going to get to the answers as best as we can. You're going to see, like I said again, Farrakhan. You're going to hear Farrakhan speaking, because this is a podcast, but you're going to see the visual of his words, so that there cannot be anything slanted. Tonight, also, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to talk as much tonight because I don't think that I necessarily need. This is not about me trying to put muddy on the mud on somebody. Rizza Islam, his resume and his issues that he has with the Medicare fraud, alleged Medicare fraud case that he's got against him since, if I'm not mistaken, this case has been lingering since 2015. I'm going to touch on that a little bit tonight. But I really want Minister Louis Farrakhan's words to speak for him. So I don't need to get up here, pontificate, make up things and throw mud over here and that. No, Minister Louis Farrakhan's words will speak volumes for it. And what I have on the video that you're going to see is that one of the brothers who was a member of the Nation of Islam for 25 years, and he got out of it because he was not happy with the move to join with Scientology. And he said, and he explains exactly how this whole thing moves, how the whole thing works. As I get ready to talk about this, I want to appreciate everybody in the chat room that's coming in. And those of you that are watching, please share the video. This will be not a trash video. I'm not going to get up here and trash. I'm just going to simply let the evidence of Louis Farrakhan speak for itself and some of the situations and dynamics around this. There are some that are saying that if this was not a serious issue, Farrakhan would have never called a believers meeting, where technically to go to a believers meeting, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be a member of the Nation of Islam within good standings. You have to be registered. So this is a very special meeting that may not seem as public, as private as you think, because it goes out through the airwaves to all members around the country by the hundreds, by the thousand. So when Farrakhan called this meeting, it was very, very, very serious. And I'm going to lay my hat on what Minister Farrakhan is saying, not so much on the window. Not going to do that here, okay? Can I have an opinion? Yeah, I may give you a little opinion, but I can't. I'm entitled to my opinion, but I'm not entitled to my own facts, ladies and gentlemen. I have to be an honest broker here as to what's happening. For Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, to say the things that he said about Rizza Islam, this is not about me trying to throw the brother in mud. It's the minister, the very one that they follow. They follow his leadership. They believe in what he says. They believe in the brother for all these years. And for him to come out and say what he said is very, very, very telling. Okay? So you're going to hear from someone that was a member who's going to break some things down near the end of this podcast. You're going to hear the video, and you're going to hear some words from Rizza himself as it relates to how a man should be treating women and how no other race of people would let you do anything to their women. Now, I don't want to mucky up the muds. From what I understand, allegedly, this appears to be a woman who I believe is a member of the Nation of Islam. I want to be respectful here. I think she was a member of the NOI. I believe Rizza Islam was engaged to be married to her. I think she was his fiance. And according to Farrakhan, she brought forth the horrible charges against Rizza Islam, which made Minister Louis Farrakhan come out and do what he had to do to talk about this issue. So I'm not trying to mucky up the waters here, but this is about truth, and it was Minister Farrakhan's words. So apparently, this young lady right here, I'm going to show you, I want to be respectful as I can, because I think you can tell the truth without necessarily getting nasty in the mud, you know?
Tell the truth.
This is a picture of his fiance, the one in question that Minister Farrakhan is saying that she brought the allegations, she did the accusing. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say Rizza Islam did this. I'm going to say this is alleged, this is allegations, this is being accused, because we certainly know that there have been times when men have been accused of something sexual towards women, and it's come out sometimes to be incorrect. So I want to be open to seeing how this whole thing plays out. But this is his, to the left side, you're going to see Rizza and his fiance. I think Nappy Yankee showed a video yesterday of him proposing to her on a beautiful helicopter ride. It was very, should I say, very I want to say again, it was very, very romantic. Very romantic. But to get back on topic here, you see her on there. I guess she's flashing the ring, the engagement ring. And it says here, Rizza Islam accused of, and you know on YouTube, you really can't use that word because they'll penalize you. So I'm not going to use the R. I'm not going to say the R word. I'll just say R word. And I also changed the description of the title of my video and took the R word out and put in there sexual abuse, because YouTube is very funny about these sensitive words. And I wanted to be cognitive of that. But you see to the right, and I'm going to give you a better picture than that, Louis Farrakhan hand in hand with Rizza Islam, who he has a lot of respect. He says Rizza is a very intelligent young man, but he's warning him not to get caught up in his own success, his own legend, because you can destroy everything that you've built. This is what Farrakhan is saying, not what I've made up, because you're going to hear it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say once again, welcome to the Information Man Speaks podcast.
You are listening to Information Man podcast.
And I want to welcome all guests that are in here tonight coming through. We've got Empress Goddess Queen. We've got my man Lions Dennis in the house saying peace. Alex is in the house. Thank you, saying please hit the subscribe button. We've got one Giz in the house saying Information Man. Salute, brother. Salute to you. This is wellness with Fugo Mama. Thank you for being here. And we got Natro in the house from Chi-Town. And I want to shout out everybody that's watching me, because my numbers are telling me that the biggest cities or the biggest states or the cities that are watching Information Man Speaks podcast is, I want to shout out Los Angeles, California. I want to shout out Dallas, California, Chicago, Chi-Town. I want to shout out the ATL that's watching me heavily, and New York is heavily watching me in my data statistics in the YouTube studio. So I want to say peace to everybody out there in those particular cities. We got this easy girl in the house. We got Jill's Chocolate in the house, Chocolate Boutiques in the house. We've got Dominique Jones. I just want to shout a few people out before I really get started, because when I get started, I've got to get started, right? Once again, Sir Hale Speaks Network gave me that $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. Okay, appreciate that. Nappy Yankees coming in the house strong here. And we got my man Yalpo, my main man Yalpo. Check out the interview that I did with Yalpo on my first channel, The Information Man Show. His book has jumped up because of that. His book has jumped up to number 30 on the Amazon book list. Maybe it's jumped up even more. Then we got my man Excel in the house, and he told me earlier, be concerned about those grammar police on YouTube, and I definitely am going to be concerned. We got Deborah Catch by Faith in the house. Thank you for being here. Put her on the screen here. Thank you. We got Mike B in the house. Make sure you share this video. You can share it right now in your Twitter. If you got a cell phone, just click the share button, push it to your Facebook, push it to your Twitter, push it. All right, or push it to wherever you can when you have time. If you got a channel, put it in your community tab as well. So I want to thank everybody that's here. Lions Den, I'm sorry about what happened. I think you said in Twitter that they put you in Facebook hell or something like that because of a post that you put up. You know how it is, man. It happens. LA in the house. Mike B says LA's in the house. Peggy's in the house. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get to work tonight because I don't want to keep you all night, but this is going to be, you're going to get value from this podcast tonight and all the issues that have to do with it. You got Farrakhan right there. There's the man himself, Rizza Islam. Some say he's highly intelligent, quick and witty with his words. I think this man at one point in time got knocked off of social media because I think all the way to the White House, they called him a dangerous man. He's also anti-vaccine. He doesn't believe that you should be taking vaccines. There's some that believe that most of what he talks about is pseudoscience. He's not a doctor. He has no medical degree, but he makes powerful statements when he talks about the issues around vaccines and issues of things that the government is doing to us. And as a result of some of those things, they have knocked him off of social media, knocked him down. and therefore people have given him this moniker as being one of the most dangerous men that the government wants to shut his mouth up. Okay, Rizza Islam is here, as you see on the screen. He was talking with Sway on Sirius XM radio about the same issues around vaccinations and things of that nature. So he hasn't been very popular by mainstream talking against vaccinations. Okay, and then Farrakhan is the leader of the almighty Nation of Islam, as you already know. But I just want to let you see them together here. They have met several times. They have been, booed up, as they call it. You know what I mean by that is meaning they're taking pictures together, they're hugging, they're shaking hands as black men. And that's what I'm trying to say by that. And here's a more iconic picture of Rizza Islam. And I'm going to say again, after I get through this, he does have a case because a lot of his other siblings, I think one of his sisters, if I'm not mistaken, and let me read the data correctly here, ladies and gentlemen. He has a sister, Rizza Islam's sister pled no contest, leaving him last facing trial in the Medicare fraud. So they're saying that his family ran a Medicare fraud back in 2015, and he is due to go to court to stand before court to fight against the potential charges against him. Okay, so he's got a lot on his plate, and the last thing he needs is to have an allegation of potentially harming his own fiance. Something about that doesn't make sense to me. And tonight, what I'm going to do, because this is the Information Man show, you know I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to break down to you, because I think this is very important. I'm going to break down to you the 8 Muslim dating rules and traditions you need to know when you are a Muslim and you're courting a woman. There are certain things that Rizza Islam is supposed to be doing, and it's going to make you understand why Farrakhan himself, I'm going to say it again, why Farrakhan himself said in that audio that I'm going to play for you tonight, that he had no business being in the bed with her and she should have never brought him to the bed. Because when we talk about these things and we hear Farrakhan talking in ways that we probably say, wow, I never heard Farrakhan talk like that. When he mentions in the audio, you bring the nigga out of us.
Information is power.
And I'm like, wow, why is he talking like that, right? But when I read to you, just in short, what are the rules when you are Muslim and you're courting a woman? There are things you're not supposed to do, like you're not supposed to have premarital sex. Right? There's a reason why Farrakhan came at him with so much venom, like you see on the thumbnail right there. There's a reason. There are certain rules that you're supposed to follow within the Nation of Islam and being a Muslim, period, when it comes to how you deal with a woman, even when you are a fiance of that woman. She is your fiance. You're not married to her technically. So he goes into it with venom, ladies and gentlemen. And so with that said, let me go ahead and let you hear from Louis Farrakhan himself. With all ado, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Tell the truth.
It will be on in just a moment.
If Brother Rizza, if you're listening,
you have words to follow.
I wish
Please
you
follow those
very
words.
well. A very handsome brother, too. Highly intelligent.
Highly intelligent.
But you've got to bring your moral standard up. Because the women are going to fall in love with you. But you can't have them all now. I don't know how Solomon made it.
He said, Rizza, you can't have them all. So he's warning him about indulging with lots of women. Let's continue. Follow the words.
Now, I don't know how long he lived it either. And she'll kill himself with the 1,000 concubines. But I'm not envious of Solomon. And you know, when you understand who a woman is and what a woman is, please, brothers, don't mess with them. Don't mess over them.
This is powerful because the minister is telling Rizza, don't mess over the women. Don't mess over the women. It's not necessary to do such a thing. It's very important. They're clapping right now. There's a clap.
They are from God, but they can be from the devil if you don't treat them right.
Now he's saying that if you don't treat women right, Rizza, that they can be from the devil. He said, don't treat them poorly because women are truly from God. But if you treat women poorly and not treat them right because they are truly from God, but when you treat a woman very poorly, then they can turn into the devil. These are not my words. These are the words of the minister, Louis Farrakhan. Not my words, ladies and gentlemen. It is his words. I am simply quoting what he is saying to you, and you are simply hearing what he is saying out of his own words. Let's continue.
Sisters, we're going to get into that September 16th. The sister is charging you, Brother Rizza, with rape. That's a horrible charge. But to my sister, you know it yourself. You were engaged to that man, according to what I read. And you allowed him to stay in your house. You allowed him to lay down on your bed.
Now, I want to stop that right there. That's a very important point. So I know that people, when they listen to this, it sounds like the minister Louis Farrakhan is throwing the woman under the bus right now by saying you allowed him to lay in your bed. However, we know that it takes two to tango. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that it takes two to tango. We know this. But once again, I want to tell you when we get through this, that there are rules. See, if you are a Christian or some other religion, there are different rules. There are rules when you are a Muslim as to how you're supposed to conduct yourself with the woman that you're courting to potentially marry. And there's to be no premarital sex. There's to be no getting in bed. There's a reason. I'm putting this in context. There's a reason why the minister went off with venom against Rizza Islam. Plus, on top of the fact that his own fiancé accused him of the R word. And you're going to hear Farrakhan say it out of his own mouth. Not me. This is Farrakhan's words, ladies and gentlemen. Farrakhan. We're going to get right back to it right now. and move it up a little bit. Move it down a little bit.
And
Watch
you
the
allowed
words
him
on
to
the
stay in
screen.
your house. You allowed him to lay down on your bed. And he laid down beside you.
They weren't supposed to be laying down like that under their rules of how you court the woman within the religion.
What the hell is going on here?
He says, what the hell is going on here?
And get angry with you because you act like the savage that's just a quarter of an inch under your skin. See, you bring the nigga out of us.
Oh my God.
And then act like you did.
I gotta move it back. Farrakhan! I've never heard him talk like, I've heard Farrakhan say some pretty powerful things in his speeches over the years, but I never heard him talk quite like this as it relates to two people in a relationship. In this case, Rizza, who according to Farrakhan is a very, he's very intelligent. He warned him, but you got to watch out. You got to watch out. I've never heard Farrakhan with such venom like this, where he says, you bring out the nigga in, you bring out the nigga. Excuse me. Wrong button. You bring out the N-word in us. Once again, it comes off as if Farrakhan is blaming the female, when I'm going to say again, it takes two to tango. See, as a man, your goal as a man should have control of his emotions. A man should have tact. A man should be thinking with his big head and not his small head. A man should be able to control certain things if you're going to call yourself a man. And if you're a Muslim, under Muslim religion, you're not supposed to be doing certain things, right? You shouldn't be having, under Muslim religion, in the number 3 spot, no premarital sex should be going on. No premarital sex, okay? Single people need to be chaperoned. I've known that a long time about the Muslim religion. Avoid sex talk. You shouldn't be having sex talk. You know what we're talking about. That little sex talk that people, you shouldn't be doing any of that. Do not rush to a proposal of marriage. Date with an intention of finding your partner. This is why Farrakhan, whether you agree with his harshness as he related to talking about the fiance as well as Rizza, this is the reason why he came at it so harshly, because according to their religion, and we know that people can be backsliders and people can be hypocrites in these religions, but at the end of the day, according to their religious doctrine, a man is not supposed to, or a woman are supposed to engage in any type of activity like laying in the bed and having sexual things before they get married. Now, we know realistically that people don't often wait to have, to get married before they have sex. We know that. We know that. But this is where Farrakhan is coming from that perspective, whether we like how he's saying it or not. Just want to lay that out a little bit. Let's get back to where we left off. I'm going to move it up, the audio. Make sure as you listen to the audio that you read the words, because you may not understand some of the audio. And please let me know in the chat room by hitting a 1 if you can hear the audio once I get it back on the screen. Here we go.
And get angry with you because you act like the savage that's just a quarter of an inch under your skin. See, you bring the nigga out of us.
Oh my God, see that?
And then act like you did nothing.
Farrakhan says, see, you bring the nigga out of us and act like you did nothing. Bring it back again for effect.
a quarter of an inch under your skin. See, you bring the nigger out of us and then act like you did nothing. If you engage don't mean come to my room, get in my bed, and I'll.
Important point that Farrakhan is bringing up. If you're engaged does not mean that you come to my bed. As I said before, within their religious doctrine, you are not supposed to, Rizza Islam or any Muslim, as you're courting a woman towards marrying her, even if she's your fiance, you're not supposed to be in the bed with her. You're not supposed to be talking sex talk to her and all those sort of things. This is his fiance right here to the left, showing off her ring. She's a very lovely, attractive young lady. And Farrakhan is calling her out. He's also calling Rizza out because I'm going to be honest with you, Rizza, this is not an excuse, but Rizza has a bigger platform than this young lady. So when he's calling Rizza out, it's resonating because people, you know, either like Rizza or don't like Rizza, but it rings out. So there's a reason why he's talking in this tone, whether you like it or not, because they're both not supposed to be doing the things that they were doing, which I guess, I'm not guessing because Farrakhan said it himself, and let's hear it. Let's push it right back. Let's not play any games here. Here we go.
If you engage don't mean come to my room, get in my bed, and I'll lay beside you, and nothing better happens.
Wow.
You're a damn fool.
Wow. Wow.
Now, when you started acting up like you wanted something, Lisa, no. Stop. See, when you get the nigger up in a man,
Uh-oh.
and you were telling stop. Well, what the hell are you doing? Getting me in this condition mentally and telling me stop.
Wow.
You got to be a hell of a man to get that close and stop. Sisters, you need to mind yourself. You want to pull down a good man, and you got him. But I bet you he ain't going to marry you.
Now he's saying, I bet you she's not going to marry you.
If you want a man, don't give him a damn thing but the greetings.
It's clapping in the background.
And give the greeting with your eyes lowered. Our women are beautiful, man. You can't lay beside one of our women. And even the ugliest one you think is ugly, lay beside her and say, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You better come to the class, FOI class, and learn how to be a good man.
Uh-oh.
So
that's powerful right there, ladies and gentlemen, because Farrakhan is saying, he's saying to Rizza Islam, that you need to go to one of the classes that they have to learn how to be a good man. This is Farrakhan saying this. This is not me making this up. That's Farrakhan's words. He had a legitimate meeting. Let me just read this to you real quick. I'm going to get to the rest of the video, only a little bit left. The Nation of Islam members who spoke out, well, let me just say this. Nation of Islam members had an all hands believers meeting at their local mosque in order to view a video address from leader Louis Farrakhan. People were invited even if they were being disciplined, meaning they invited people that were registered, they invited people that were in that circle, but they're saying that even people who might be under some discipline rule, they were even asked to be at this meeting or to at least listen to this meeting, because I think the minister had a point that he was trying to make. People were invited even if they were being disciplined and were not normally invited for the event. Everyone was called to come and see the video regardless of what their status is, which is unusual, as reported. A witness to this said that Farrakhan said that the NOI sister in question, who is the sister to the left side showing her hand with Rizza, which is the fiancé, she's gone unnamed, that the NOI sister had accused Rizza Islam, who you see right here on screen, that she had accused Rizza Islam of R-ing her. I'm not going to say the word of R, of a sexual abuse. And y'all know what I mean when I say the word R. You know how YouTube is. I'm not going to say that word because they have a way of screwing your channel over when you say certain words on these YouTube streets. But y'all know what I'm talking about. This is Farrakhan's words that came out. You're going to hear him say that in this video. Farrakhan says that the brother Rizzo needs to raise his moral standards and that the allegations by the sister is a horrible charge, but also criticizes the unnamed woman for allowing Rizza to enter her house. They are reportedly engaged in allowing him into her bed. But ultimately, Farrakhan says Rizza must answer to the law. I guess the law of the religion and the principles that they must follow. Let's continue on with the rest of the statements by Farrakhan. Here we go.
Man, you can't lay beside one of our women. And even the ugliest one you think is ugly, lay beside her and say, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You better come to the class, FOI class, and learn how to be a good man.
Let me freeze that right there. Brother, let me freeze that right there. This is Farrakhan's words, not my words. I didn't make this up. This is Farrakhan's words. You better come to the class, the FOI class, and learn how to be a good man. So, Brother Rizza, I very much love you and respect good work that you do. Let's bring it back so that you can hear him say exactly what I said. This is Farrakhan's voice. This has not been doctored. It hasn't been messed with. I don't even think this was really leaked, because I'm going to show you a video that proves that it could potentially this was never leaked, because when they broadcast this, they did put it into the internet. And when you put anything in the internet, anybody can intercept it. But let me let you hear what I just repeated. This is his voice. Let's do a test right now. Everybody in the chat room, do you recognize Farrakhan's voice? Put a 1 in the chat room if you believe that this is indeed his voice.
lay beside her and say, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You better come to the class, FOI class, and learn how to be a good man. So, Brother Rizza, I very much love you. And I respect the good work that you do. But don't mess it up by being immoral. Because you're handsome and highly intelligent and you win arguments, good. But you can't win an argument with God and His law. And you're going to have to answer.
Uh-oh.
To the law.
To the law.
Mm-hmm. What?
Let me stop that right there, ladies and gentlemen.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel.
California, the sun's up, but you can't even trust the air. We couldn't waste together. We'd rather go and linger on the beach again. Your love song is sad, but you don't want to see.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel.
You and me could float the
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
Looking to be rescued on the west side, south side. It used to be out of my mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a hell of a situation that Rizza Islam is in, plus the fact that he's got the let me put this on the screen here so you all can see. Rizza Islam, he also has a serious case that he's going to have to contend with, and that is the situation right here, ladies and gentlemen. Rizza Islam is dealing with some serious stuff. In 2015, they first reported that Rizza and his three siblings, there were three children. There was Hannah, I think his mother, who passed away, but he had other siblings who were dragged into a charge of Medicare fraud, ladies and gentlemen, Medicare fraud, okay? Pretty serious stuff here. Medicare fraud, which sent the state insurance program fake reports of treatment from a jackleg Scientology. And we have seen Rizza Islam talk about Scientology. There are those in the nation that have talked about it, that are 100% with it. I don't know. It's something that's been talked about Scientology, and that there was a rehab worker who notoriously, from the Notorious World Literacy Crusade, a long time Scientologist front in Compton, California. So they're saying that what happened, that is in August, let me read something here to you. This is important. The Medicare program scandal, I guess they're saying, totaled in the amount of $4 million, as the investigators are testifying that this is what they found, that this was a scam that involved Rizza Islam, allegedly, because he has not gone to jail. I don't think anybody has been charged in his family, unless Nappy Yankee knows something different in the chat room. but I don't think anyone's been charged yet. His mother passed away some time ago. He had a sister, if I'm not mistaken, who pled no contest, so all of his other siblings have kind of pled out. And I think Rizza Islam has been left by himself to pick up the pieces and see what's going to befold him in this Medicare fraud. Says here, Rizza said that the charges did not apply to him and were merely a smear campaign, but he's facing felony charges in a trial taking place on the 9th floor of Claire Shortridge Criminal Justice Center, where serious cases are held. So the place where they're going to have the trial that's coming up very soon is where they only put heavy, serious cases like this, okay? This is supposed to go to trial, I believe, I think this is going to start in October the 11th. This is going to be next month, where they are going to start the trial to bring Rizza Islam under some indictment for his role in what his family allegedly did, which was, they're saying, Medicare fraud at the tune of $4 million. I'm saying alleged because he has not been charged. He is not wearing a orange suit or anything like that. They have not put handcuffs on him. This in the trial. And what we know about legal cases is that it's whoever has the best argument. We're under the belief that the justice system is justice. No, it's not. It's based on which lawyer can tell the tale better than the other lawyer. Who can be more convincing to a jury? So this is a pretty serious case. Before Rizza rose to prominence in the Nation of Islam, his family was also heavily involved in Scientology, and his he was an interesting figure in the relationship of the two groups. Scientology, Farrakhan for years invited him, for example, to Hollywood Celebrity Center in 2006. So they've been sort of caroused. I think they've been sort of playing around with the Scientology stuff, and I'm wondering why get involved in Scientology. There's some really kooky things about Scientology. Jack-a-leg Scientology. Been charged. The Rizza Islam had been charged with Medicare fraud. Okay, so he has been charged for sending the state insurance program fake reports of treatment from a jack-a-leg Scientologist. So you're getting money from the Medicare system for providing treatments, I guess, to kids or someone, and you're using someone who's not a certified therapist from Scientology? Are you kidding me? That's what's alleged to be the charge against Rizza Islam in this situation. And I think it's a shame if this comes out to be the truth. If this all comes out to be the truth, I'm gonna say it's a shame. As you heard Farrakhan, and everybody hear Farrakhan as I played the Farrakhan clip, if you heard it very clearly, put a 1, because I want you to hear what Rizza Islam has to say as it relates to how a man should treat a woman. He talks about how that if you touch the woman of another race, they'll make you pay. The Chinese man will make you pay. The Japanese man, the Hispanic, the Latino man, the white man will make you pay if you touch their women. He's talking high moral standards here. Once again, as I put this on the screen, federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion picture, videos, tapes, or videos, discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use, fair use, fair use. It allows for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and which does not infringe on the copyright under 17 USC 107. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
All right, y'all, you listen to the Information Man Speaks podcast.
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
All right.
Tell the truth.
Telling the truth here. Let's listen to what Rizza Islam has to say as it relates to mistreating women. This is his own words. I didn't make him say this. It is a purposeful thing for me to play up here, very, very much for the purpose.
Again, this is why we teach in the Nation of Islam. But I'm going to say this, man. The penalty is death for messing with our women. Okay, this is just plain and simple. Whether if you're black or white and you're doing it to our sisters, that's the penalty. That's how we're taught. That's how we were originally before we were manipulated and made into niggas. That's how it was. You can't go and mess around with no nation of people and mess around with a woman and something gonna happen to you. Try to go kidnap a Chinese woman from a Chinese man's house and see if the Chinese don't show up to your house. Go try to kidnap a Russian woman from a Russian man's house and see what happened to you. They're gonna get at you, and they ain't not gonna wait on the white man's law, his court, call the police. But that ain't gonna happen. They're gonna show up right there, find out where you are. Where's my sister? Where's my daughter? What you doing? But what up?
As you can see right there, Rizza Islam said it himself. He said out of his mouth, if you mess with women the wrong way and other men's women, they're gonna come back on you. Well, Farrakhan jumped on Rizza because of his treatment of his fiancé, according to Farrakhan, saying that you need to go to FOI school and get more training of what it is to be a man. This is Farrakhan's words, not my words. Farrakhan said this. I didn't say this. Farrakhan said this. Listen, again, ladies and gentlemen.
And learn how to be a good man. So, Brother Rizza, I very much love you. And I respect the good work that you do. But don't mess it up by being immoral. Because you're handsome. And highly intelligent.
Highly intelligent and handsome, as he says right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move it back a little bit more. Okay? He says right here, bring your moral standard.
But you can't have them all now. I don't know how Solomon made out. I don't know how long he lived either. And she'll kill himself with the 1,000.
And then he talks about how you should treat a woman. Let me move that up here. I mean, at least he says right here, when you understand what a woman is.
Who a woman is and what a woman is, please, brothers, don't mess with them.
This is key right here, because even though he did say some things about the woman, and you can say, hey, Farrakhan's blaming the woman for this, you can look, both of them are the blame for the whatever they were doing that went against the Muslim laws, okay? But this is a very key statement right here. Let's let Farrakhan say it, not me. Here it is.
You know, when you understand who a woman is and what a woman is, please, brothers, don't mess with them.
Don't mess with them, right? Because if you mess with them, it could turn bad for you. Let's hear it with that part.
Over them.
Don't mess over them. Everyone's clapping. I just want to play this part before I get to the other part of the program tonight, and then I'm going to get close to conclusion. I appreciate everybody in the chat room.
Are from God.
They're from God.
But they can be from the devil if you don't treat them right.
Right. Right. So he's correct. So Farrakhan says there very clearly, don't mess over women. I think that's an honorable thing that he said. But if you treat them poorly, the woman could be from the devil in the way she may treat you back. I think that's a very fair thing that he said, because honestly, we should not, as men, be misleading in treating our women poorly, especially a woman that you want to marry, that's your fiance, and all these sort of things. These are facts. And let's get right back to right here. So I think Farrakhan made good points there. He did get a little bit sort of like harsh on the woman. And I know people out there will have their own opinions about, well, he shouldn't have came down on the woman like that. But he also came down hard on Rizza Islam, because Rizza Islam has the name. He has the reputation. And if he salts his reputation, it could do a lot of damage to this man. Now the question is his fiance being honest about Rizza doing some sexual harm to her? That's the question. Is this facts, or is this just her accusing him, trying to get back at him, or did he actually do what she's accusing him? We don't know. It's an allegation. It's an allegation. I'm going to say it again. It's an allegation. It's an allegation. That's her to the left side, him and Farrakhan to the right side. It's an allegation, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have the facts until they do whatever their investigation. And I'm going to have a video. I'm going to show you a video where someone who had 25 years in the Nation of Islam talks about how they may or may not handle this, but he doesn't give details because they're not going to expose all that to us. We're not in the nation. But we do know that Rizza did say that there's a penalty for how you treat a woman.
Again, this is why we teach in the Nation of Islam, bro. I'm going to say this, man. The penalty is death for messing with our women. Okay, this is just plain and simple.
See, the penalty is death for messing with our women.
That's the penalty. That's how we're taught. That's how we.
He said it himself. That's what we were taught. That's what we were taught. There is penalty for messing with women, which is death. And you had Farrakhan. So if you hear Rizza saying that the penalty for messing with the women is death, then you can make an argument that the things that Farrakhan, y'all get what I'm saying here? If y'all get what I'm saying, hit a 1 in the chat room. You can make an argument that Farrakhan was very mild, because he didn't say anything about Rizza should be put to death. He said Rizza needs to go back to school, to FOI school within the nation, to learn how to be a better man. Rizza himself said that there's a penalty of death for messing with the women. Farrakhan didn't take it that harsh. That was Rizza who said the penalty should be death. So should Rizza be held to his own words out of his mouth? I'm just saying. Nobody should be put to no kind of death, but these are the words that came out of Rizza's mouth.
Again, this is why we teach in the Nation of Islam, bro. I'm going to say this, man. The penalty is death for messing with our women. Okay, this is just plain and simple. Whether you're black or white and you're doing it to our sisters, that's the penalty. That's how we're taught. That's how we were originally before we were manipulated and made into niggas. That's how it was. You can't go and mess around with no nation of people and mess around with a woman and something gonna happen to you. Try to go kidnap a Chinese woman from a Chinese man's house and see if the Chinese don't show up to your house. Go try to kidnap a Russian woman from a Russian man's house.
You see what I'm saying? This is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. So he said very powerful words about what the penalty should be. So you can make the argument that Farrakhan was very mild, because he's not talking about taking a life of Islam. But Rizza Islam clearly said that. Now, somebody may say, oh, you're taking him out of context. No, I played that whole little video clip, and that's exactly what he said out of his mouth when it comes to messing with women. And if Farrakhan didn't think that something was seriously going on, why would he call a believers meeting for local mosques in order to view a video address for Louis Farrakhan talking about the issue around Rizza and many other things that he talked about? People were invited, as I said before. Even if they had been disciplined themselves, they were invited to come, because I think Farrakhan had a lesson in this that he was trying to get across to everybody, either in good standing or out of good standing. But with that said, let me get to this other video, because there's somebody that was on this video on a program that I was watching who said that he used to be a member of the Nation of Islam before they got connected with the, as he put it, the Scientology portion of things that he didn't agree with within the nation. And I want you to hear what he had to say about what a believer's meeting is, because people are talking about this issue, but they have not defined what a believer's meeting is. I'm going to say it again before this is what I need to do. Muslim dating rules for halal dating. Be mature and old enough to start dating. 2, date with intention of finding your partner, not just messing around. Okay, put this back up here. This is important. That's number 3, no premarital sex within the religious belief system. 4, single people need to be chaperoned when they're going out. 5, avoid sex talk. This is part of the rules. See, we're going to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I'm the information man. You've got to put everything in context. 5, avoid sex talk. 6, don't rush to propose marriage. Did Rizza Islam, I'm not going to say he rushed to propose to her, because usually if a man proposes to a woman, that means that man really is in love with that woman. But the question is, what was going on internally? And I don't know, and I'm not going to act like I do know. I just wonder what was going on internally for her to allegedly make these claims against Rizza Islam. If these claims are indeed facts, I'm not going to say that they're facts because we just don't know. 7, remain friends, not just lovers. Wow. So you shouldn't be messing around. This is why Farrakhan didn't like the idea of him hearing about him being in her bed, allegedly. 8, always keep a strong faith about yourself. And you should always look for the right Muslim community. Instead of focusing on the physical, check this out, ladies and gentlemen, this is interesting. Within the religion, within the belief system. Instead of focusing on physical aspects of the relationship, you should pay attention to the potential partner other than the traits such as her faith, his faith, her personality, his personality, her mindset, his mindset, her purity, your purity, things of that nature. This is not something I made up. This is what Muslim dating is supposed to be centered around. This is from 8 Muslim dating rules and traditions you need to know when you are a Muslim and courting a woman. Did everything I say make sense to you all, ladies and gentlemen in the chat room? Put a 1. Here is the most important video for me to play tonight. I want to shout out this brother. It's called Barbershop Conversation. He's got a good channel, great channel. And he's got a documentary that he's been working on. I think a movie that he's been working on that he's been promoting on his channel called, I think, The 9 Wives of Elijah Muhammad. He's delving into that whole situation with Malcolm X calling out Elijah Muhammad for having women that he impregnated, I think. You know the story. I don't want to go over this, because there's people on both sides of this who have difference of opinions about it and what have you. But he's got some kind of documentary, a movie that he's been working on. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got great support over there. He had a brother that came up on the show who's been 25 years in the nation, but he got out of it because he didn't agree with Scientology. Let's hear what this brother has to say about this situation as we get close to the conclusion of the podcast.
I just wanted to address the difference between a general meeting, which is open to the public,
Mhm.
and a believers meeting. I'm a former.
And let me stop that real quick, because this is the purpose of federal law allowing criticism to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videos, tapes, or videos, this under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use, and is allowed for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and which does not infringe on the copyright under 17 USC 107. This is very important. Here we go. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I just wanted to address the difference between a general meeting, which is open to the public,
Mhm.
and a believers meeting. I'm a former registered Muslim of the Nation of Islam for over 25 years, brother. So
Wow.
I walk with Minister Farrakhan, and you know, it was a point where I disagreed when he decided to, quote unquote, unite the Nation of Islam with the Church of Scientology, and I had to walk away from that. But suffice that to say, when I'm listening to the recording and the caption is up, it does say believers meeting,
Mhm.
which takes place in Chicago, but is remotely connected via the internet or either teleconference. So it's really not public, but it is public, because it's for the believers, but anybody with access to the internet can tap into it and get a copy, just like the brother said earlier, it was leaked to you. Maybe
That's what I want. That's the point I'm trying to make here. This may not have necessarily been leaked, like somebody was just trying to leak it to make them look bad, or somebody in the inside. This just could have been put out there because, like he said, it was officially private, but not really private, because they put this into the internet, which made it open for anybody to be able to transcribe this back out and put it out there to the whole public. So it wasn't like they had this meeting and someone brought a secret recording into the meeting and recorded Farrakhan talking in the meeting because it wasn't on any internet. No, brother. He's saying that this was recorded and put out there on the internet. As he was speaking, it was being transcribed into the internet. And if you put anything on the internet, anybody can gain that access and take what they will of that video. So what he's basically saying is, this might have just very well been put out there by somebody who got access to listening to this when it was put out there by the Nation of Islam. If Farrakhan didn't want anybody to know about this, allegedly, then Farrakhan could have easily said, take us off the internet. He could have easily made every brother who showed up take their phones and their stuff out. Because when you go to the meetings anyway, they check you anyway to make sure you ain't got nothing dangerous. He could have easily. But what did he do? He made this believers meeting for everyone around the country. And the only way to get the message to everyone is to use the internet, to use social media to get it out. So therefore, Farrakhan, and they very well knew that allowed for anyone to take the audio and put it out there for everyone to consume this audio. Because if not, hell, Farrakhan could have had a private meeting with Rizza if he didn't really want everybody to know. I think the fact that Farrakhan spoke out about this tells me that he, in a way, wanted to kind of embarrass him a little bit. This is my opinion. He wanted to kind of like, not embarrass him, maybe that's the wrong word to say, but he wanted to put him on Front Street and to his peers and let his peers know what he's been doing to hold him accountable. And I'm going to be honest, I think as men, we should hold each other accountable. Would I want somebody to put my accountability out there on the web for people to see potentially? No. I would rather Farrakhan had called me into his office, called me to Chicago to talk to me privately amongst the brotherhood. I would have liked that better. But it is what it is. Let's continue on where we are. The brother said that this was transpired or put out there on the internet. Go right ahead.
But anybody with access to the internet can tap into it and get a copy, just like the brother said earlier, it was leaked to you. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But the fact that they're used in the public World Wide Web, anybody can tap into it.
Facts.
They're using the telephone.
Tell the truth.
Anybody can tap into it and get a copy of it and leak it to the public.
Tell
I
the
believe
truth.
the accusations are true. Otherwise, Minister Farrakhan wouldn't have never addressed it in a believers meeting. And usually how that take place, the sister would have had to come to her sister captain to bring charges against the brother in order for that to be reported to Chicago. It just didn't happen where she went to the police and this happened and that happened, because that's not the way the Nation of Islam handles things. Trust me, I know. I soldiered with them for 25 years. So it didn't happen like that. But the sister had to report whatever took place between her and the brother, and it was addressed in that particular forum where it was addressed in that believers meeting. But I mean, say it was public, it wasn't public, but yes, it was, because it was done through the internet or either the World Wide Web, because everybody's not in Chicago that's on that conference. The minister is speaking from Chicago, but everybody that's in that meeting is not physically in Chicago. They're either on the web or they're on the telephone.
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
And that's all I want to address about that, brother.
No, I totally appreciate you. Thank you, dog.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad for clarifying. So the believers meeting is like the elite 100,
No, it's for registered Muslims of the Nation of Islam. If you're not a registered Muslim, you're not going to sit in a believers meeting.
Got you. So it's all over the nation. So it could be 100, it could be 1,000.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So I stand corrected.
Yes,
I thought it was with his chosen few. I stand corrected.
No,
Okay.
no, sir.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you for clearing that up. So now we have a greater understanding. Okay. So if in your greatest hypothesis, what do you think of the charges, as the word Farrakhan used?
Like I said, the sister would have had to report it to her sister captain in her mosque. And then those charges would have been, up the chain of command till it got to Chicago, to where the minister addressed it in that particular believers meeting.
Right.
Now they're going to deal with it. Now I can't tell you exactly how they're going to deal with it, but they're going to deal with it if it's true.
Right. Gotcha. How would they deal with that? Just get suspended? They go to the police? Like, what do they do?
Well, it all depends, brother. It could go either or.
Gotcha. Okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You gave me a great understanding. Thank you.
Yes, sir, brother.
All the time.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, my last question. How often are these meetings? Is it once a month?
Well, I haven't been in the nation since 2018, so I can't tell you how they go.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
Understood.
sir, brother.
Thank you, dog. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
We made a promise we wouldn't walk away, girl. No. I'm getting sick and tired, 'cause I know just what you want, and I got just what you need.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe.
You are listening to Information Man Podcast.
That's why you keep on running back, just stay for real. We could have forever in a day, for real, oh baby. All day, got you running back all day. Always, girl, you on your mind always. That's all day,
Everybody, I thank you for coming over tonight and listening to the podcast. I really appreciate that. I appreciate Nappy Yankee being in the house tonight. Make sure y'all check out Nappy Yankee's channel. I appreciate Last Call. Let me go ahead and put some people on the screen here as I get ready to conclude and all that good stuff. I want to say Tell the Truth to Brother Yalpo. Make sure y'all check out his book, Melanin. Make sure you check out that book. Let me see what Super Mike is saying. He says those meetings are routine he held and each issues are addressed. That makes sense to me. But Super Mike, I know that you are Muslim, brother. Tonight, I just let the words of Farrakhan speak. I didn't really, I have my opinions, but I let the words of Farrakhan speak for it. And I got to ask you, being that you're Muslim, for Farrakhan to call a meeting like this and to call out someone like this that's well known, it must be a serious situation. And I'm not saying that he did anything to this young lady. This is all allegations. This is all being accused. We don't know until it all comes out. But of course, we know the nation's going to deal whatever they're going to deal with internally. Let me know how you feel about this. George as well. Everybody in the chat room, let me know. Write down description. I'm not using StreamYard, so I won't be able to have. I'm not having a panel. The podcast channel doesn't work that way. It's a different format over here, and I don't have the systems to even do that. I'm streaming out of something totally different. But I just want to say peace and respect to everybody in that chat room. And Super Mike, definitely let me know what's happening here. Yikes, Rizza is in trouble for real. Well, he's got the Nappy Yankee. He has the Medicare situation. That trial is going to be starting in October. And it looks like he's the only one of his siblings that they haven't really got their hands on in a legal way in terms of getting him in court and getting him to, speak on these issues and charging him with something. I don't want to see this happen to any black man, but what disturbs me is that for Farrakhan to have brought this meeting together and to address this issue, that's pretty serious. And I gotta be honest, that's pretty serious. No matter how you feel about it, it's pretty serious. Empress Goddess says, good show, Information. Thank you for coming over. I think I see my man George in the house, and we got IXLs in the house. Thank you for being here. Let me see. We got Last Call in the house. I appreciate you coming over. Good to see you, Last Call. There go my man George Makem in the house. Let me see what George is saying. He says peace and black power to the whole chat room. Yeah, tonight wasn't me. I didn't spend the night spending a lot of time throwing Rizza under the bus. My analysis was simply to hear what Farrakhan was saying, and to also, I think I put things in context because I also pulled up the 8 rules when you're dating when you're a Muslim, and I believe that Farrakhan was very mild compared, because a lot of the things that he was talking about, they have rules. And Super Mike, you know this, there's rules when it comes to courting a woman. Let me read those rules again. Instead of focusing on the physical aspects of a relationship, you should be paying attention to the potential partner other than the traits such as her faith, his faith, personality, his personality, her personality, and mindset. Okay? Be mature and old enough to start dating. First of all. 2, date with the intentions to find a partner, not to just have a booty call. Okay? You should have no premarital sex. 4, this is very difficult for some people to do. I'll be honest with you, it takes discipline. 4, single people need to be chaperoned. Okay? I remember that when I was growing up as a kid, and I used to go to the mosque in my neighborhood. I remember them saying that. You gotta be chaperoning when you're courting a woman. Avoid sex talk. Don't rush to propose marriage to the woman. Take your time. 7, remain friends, not just lovers. You got people that mess around and say, I want friends with benefits and all that type of nonsense, right? Number 8, always keep a strong faith about yourself. I believe that Farrakhan went off like he did because he said clearly, you're over there in the bed with the woman. You as the woman, you got this man in your bed. You're bringing out the nigga in us. My God, it's crazy. I never heard Farrakhan talk like this. Now it sounds harsh because it looks like he's coming down on Rizza, but it looks like he was really coming down on the woman. And everybody's entitled to have their opinion about how they feel about that part of how Farrakhan was talking. But I think a lot of what he was saying comes out of these principles of how you're supposed to date in court. And he's saying, hey, Rizza, you're not supposed to be up in this woman's bed. And you, as a woman of the nation, you know you ain't supposed to be having this man in your bed. That's why I believe Farrakhan said those things. You may disagree. You may have a difference of opinion. But if you're not in the nation, then you can't really, make a judgment because you're not in the religion. And if you're in a religion, you're supposed to hold up to those practices. Let me see if I can find this again. I want y'all to hear this part where Farrakhan says that the sister is charging you with the R word. Let's hear that again.
The sister is charging you, brother Rizza, with rape.
Uh-oh.
That's a horrible challenge.
I'm gonna play that again.
The sister is charging you, brother Rizza, with rape.
Farrakhan said that I did not say that. I did not make those words up. That is Farrakhan speaking. So this is Farrakhan breaking this down. Listen to this part right here where he gets on her about letting him lay down in the bed with her. So he gets on Rizza and he gets on her as well. I know however you take it, you may not like how it comes out.
And you allowed him to stay in your house. You allowed him to lay down on your bed. And he laid down beside it. What the hell is going on here?
Right there, the minister says, what in the hell is going on here? Not my words I made up. Those are the words of the minister. Tonight, I did not make up anything. I did not try to read into too much. I basically read and heard what the minister said. And the only interpretation that I gave tonight that can be seen as an interpretation or maybe not is the fact that I brought up the 8 rules that Muslims must follow when courting. And I use that as my premise to say why I believe Farrakhan came out so harshly in the way he talked to Rizza in that audio, because of the fact that there are certain rules that you're supposed to adhere to when you are courting a woman and you are practicing the religion within Islam. That is simply the facts. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to keep it real. I hope that the charges that his fiance is levying down on him, I'm hoping that this is not true. I'm really hoping that this is that it's all false, that she's making it up and they're going to have to hold her accountable for making it up. I'm hoping that that's the case. But if it's not the case, then just like Farrakhan said, he's going to have to be held to the law. And I'm going to let you hear what he said about that again right here.
By being immoral, because you're handsome and highly intelligent and you win arguments, good. But you can't win an argument with God and his law.
Okay.
And you're going to have
Let's hear what he said again.
to the law.
To the law. You want to answer to the law.
Mess it up by being immoral, because you're handsome and highly intelligent and you win arguments, good. But you can't win an argument with God and his law.
Right there. The minister said you can't win an argument with God and his laws. You can't do that. I'm letting the minister's words speak for itself. I don't need to add anything, because it's not about that tonight. It's about trying to understand what is going on. For the minister to have called this special meeting and for all this to transpire, this had to be a very serious, and I do mean a very serious, of course it'd be serious because he's being accused of something, as Farrakhan said, is a horrible, horrible, horrible charge. And I just hope that this is not true. Not because I'm trying to marginalize the woman's position that something happened, but that I just don't want to see bad things happen to black people. I don't want to see black men doing harm to black women, and I don't want to see black women being in a position in which they have to say that a black man did this to them. And then we look at the Nation of Islam as supposed to be having some higher standards. And then you hear Minister Farrakhan saying out of his own mouth, not my mouth, that you brought the N-word out of him. You bring the N-word out of us. But the truth of the matter is, why does any of that stuff have to come out of us if we've got our heads together as men, if we're disciplined as men, and we're supposed to stand for something? I just wonder, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, DJ Chuck? Thank you for being here. Super Mike says this. I'm just suspect that only Fred came out of with this. I'm just suspect that only. Actually, brother, this was transpired over internet. So anybody, see, the thing is, if Farrakhan didn't want this to get leaked out to anybody. What's going on, DJ Chuck? Glad to have you here. If Farrakhan didn't want this to get leaked out, then why did they transpire it over the internet? It was completely available on internet when he tried to put it out there for everyone to listen to. So by putting it out there to get all the brothers to listen, by default, you open the door for someone to leak the video or the audio, or to not even leak it. Just you made it possible for anybody, whether they're a member of the nation or not, to get the audio transcripts and to put it out there. Maybe this should have been I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Maybe they should have just did this on Zoom, but then again, somebody could have recorded the Zoom. I don't know. Social media is a mother, you know, it's a mother. You can't hide anything from people anymore. You will be exposed in the 21st century. We got Muslim in the house, and he says this, man, if the NOI is straight up rob the name and identity of the 1487 year ancient religion, like Islam, call yourself something else, brother. Very interesting what you said. I'm gonna get ready to CZ Girl says take complete discipline. It takes complete discipline. Yeah, if I'm just looking at this from a standpoint that if you're dating and you are Muslim and you're dating and there are rules that you have to adhere to, then you gotta adhere to them. And obviously, if Farrakhan, who says he loves Rizza, spoke like this, it's because something must have happened. Now, we may never know all the details, but he did say in this video, Rizza, she has charged you with the R word. He said that in the audio portion of this announcement that he did in the Believers meeting that he called. He called this. You can look for the full meeting recordings if you can, brother. It won't, you can look for the full meeting recordings. I would do that. But it still won't change the fact that Farrakhan said what he said. So even if you got more of the recording, it doesn't change the fact that Farrakhan put a heavy indictment, a heavy chastisement, and a heavy statement about this issue. That will not change that. These is his words. You can't get around it. It ain't nothing that we made up. It ain't no doctored up tape. because this was put out to all the nation of the Nation of Islam, all the brothers. This was no doctored up tape. This ain't nobody that was doing a parody like somebody that's impersonating his voice. No, this was Farrakhan. So that's the thing that people gonna have to come to grips with, that you can't get away from the fact that this is Farrakhan's words. See, it'd be different if one of us got on social media and just start throwing out allegations and making up shit. But the fact that it came from the minister himself, you can't get away from that. You can't dance away from it. You can't make it go away, because Farrakhan already put it out there. And thank you to Jill's Chocolate Boutique. I like your avatar too, sis. You look good on there. Let me see. Yeah, get the full recording, Super Mike. Get the full recording if you can. But at the end of the day, we can't make it go away. Farrakhan said these words. However harsh it is to hear, he said them. And he said it about a very well-known member of his organization, of the nation. And I'm gonna say it again. Rizza Islam has other issues coming down the pipeline this upcoming October with this pending Medicare trial that he's got coming against him. That's been coming against his family for some time, going all the way back to 2015 and maybe even further than that, who knows? So to have this on top of that happening, and then to have his fiance, who is a member of the nation, make such allegations, I'm hoping this is not true. But we don't know. And my thing is, if it's an allegation and it hasn't been proven, why would Minister Farrakhan jump out the window and give a meeting like this and talk about Rizza like this, unless Farrakhan has definitive evidence or definitive information that does reinforce what the fiance is saying? And here she is again on the screen to the left side of the screen. Maybe now this is where I'm using my detective stuff. I'm using logic here. Why would Farrakhan, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, this is just a little term that we use nowadays. Why would Farrakhan jump out the window, go in on Rizza, if he didn't think that the young lady was speaking something that may have been proven to be true in their own internal investigation, which led, I'm just saying, this is my personal opinion now, away from what we know as facts. I'm using logic here. Everybody think about it. Why would Farrakhan jump out the window, go on a limb, and talk about someone well known within the nation, that being Rizza, who he says he loves? Why would he go and talk about him like that at a meeting and put him on Front Street around all of his peers within the nation, if Farrakhan did not actually believe what the young lady is saying based on his own internal investigation to be able to prove it out, that made him come out and speak about Rizza in the way he did? Because he said, Rizza, these are serious and horrible charges. If this woman was just making up stuff, you know Farrakhan wouldn't have come out and threw Rizza under the bus like this. If the woman was making up stuff, why would Farrakhan do that? Could it be, there's people who have all kind of theories. Oh, you know, there's jealousy that he's going to take over. No, Rizza is not going to be leading the Nation of Islam anytime soon. He's not even in the inner circle to do that. So this ain't no Malcolm X all over again, because Rizza ain't no Malcolm X. So somebody in that chat room better make sense to me. And thank you, Empress Goddess, for the $5 super chat. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
No. Somebody gotta make sense to me before I end this podcast tonight. Somebody gotta make it make sense in that chat room. Super Mike, you gotta make it make sense to me. Why would the minister jump out that window and do this. Now, see, the minister does test his people with pressure to see how they behave. Okay, but why would he say in that meeting, Rizza, you've been given a horrible charge. She's saying that you R'd her. Why would he say that if he hadn't done his own internal investigation? That's my point, Super Mike. Can you explain that little theory? I'm saying theory here that I have. Theory that he may have done his own internal investigation, because the brother that I just had on the screen earlier, who was a member of 25 Years in the Nation, says that they do handle things internally. DJ Chuck, let me see what he's saying. DJ Chuck says, seems like someone needs to be held accountable for their wrongdoing within the Nation of Islam. Otherwise, the minister would not have spoken. That's my point.
Tell the truth.
That's the point, DJ Chuck. That is the point.
Tell the truth.
And the only point. Let me see. And let me see here. Muslim says, peace be upon you, brother. Information Man Speaks. Thanks, brother. Thank you. Now once again, this stream is not about me throwing Rizza under the bus or even Farrakhan. I'm not talking greasy. I'm not calling him out their name. I'm not even talking greasy about the nation. The only thing that I find weird is this whole Scientology stuff that's been wrapped into this stuff, because they talked about, you know, Rizza was using someone that was a Scientologist involved in this $4 million, what they're saying was a scam of welfare, of Medicare money, and this whole Scientology stuff, which I feel is like kind of weird, because I know the history of Ron Hubbard. Ron Hubbard was a white supremacist, y'all. That's what he was. And he was a kook who created an organization like a cult. The Scientology is just like a cult. And his history, if you go back and do his history, this man, Ron Hubbard, was found to lie about himself, create an organization to give himself this persona of a man of industry when he wasn't. And I want to know, and we got the Nation of Islam that talks about, and has talked about in the past under Elijah Muhammad about the white man being the devil, and that black people should do for self. But why would we want, this is just my opinion right now, why would you align with a white run and structured organization by a dude that was already proven to be a quack and a kook? That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
That's just my opinion.
Tell the truth.
But it ain't even opinion, because it is proven that Ron Hubbard was a quack. He was a quack. But that's just, you know, it is what it is. Let me see. He did not. They found you a her. He said she charged you. Yeah, he said it though, Super Mike, out of his own mouth. That we can't get away from it. We just can't. Farrakhan said some stuff that we should all take notice. That's all I'm saying. No disrespect to anybody. Lisa Jackson's in the house. And she's saying that I think the minister let Rizza and the woman both have it. Unfortunately, the organization religion is a problem, and the truth will set us all free, as she is saying there. Thank you for your comments. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I get it. I'm not really here to rag on the only problem I have is the Scientology stuff. That's the goofy stuff to me. But do the Nation of Islam do the work of building black men and changing? Yes, they do. There's been the Nation of Islam has reformed more black men out of prison than any organization on this earth. They have done more to get the black man off of drugs, weed, cigarettes, alcohol, the whole 9 yards. So you can't take that away from them. You can't take any of their accomplishment away from them. However, I do have my problems as it relates to Malcolm X and that whole situation, but I'm not going to open that up tonight. Not gonna go there. Everybody knows the story. Everybody has their opinions about it. Not gonna open that up tonight. DJ Chuck says it seems like someone needs to be held. Yeah, I read that before. Let me see what he's saying now. The minister probably doesn't want people who look up to Rizza to break those rules of dating. Yeah, because you're absolutely right, Super Mike. He probably is using Rizza as an example because he's got so many young people that look up to him. So he's sending a clear message that you can't do what he may be doing allegedly. And so I'm going to show you that if I can get on Rizza, I can get on all of you who look up to him too. So it's twofold. It's a twofold message. Let me see what CZ Girl is saying. She says possibly fractured evidence alleged that was not expected to be leaked to the internet, possibly wanted it to remain in-house. Yeah, but the problem is that the minute you put it on the internet, anybody can put it out there, your own members, and you could have people who are not even members discover it, and they start listening and put it out there. So you're absolutely right. And you also look good on that avatar too. All right. I'm gonna get ready to end this. Let me see. One day I want to question me on the Malcolm X Scientology. Well, all I'm trying to say is, if you go and do research on Ron Hubbard, that dude was sort of shady. And I don't understand why any black organization, this is my opinion, would want to get in bed. How about this, Super Mike? How about black people create our own science instead of joining other people's science? Get what I'm saying to you, brother? How about we create our own understanding of science? How about we create our own systems of science? Since a lot of us like to look up to Egypt and other ancient societies in Africa or the continent of Africa and claim all this sort of stuff, how about we take what our ancestors created and create our own sense of spirit? Look, you don't need to use Scientology. We already have systems of spirituality, African spirituality. We have systems of spirituality that was created right here in North America by our ancestors that came out of those damn cotton fields. We've already have our own systems of spirituality and connection. Now, when I say spirituality, I'm not talking about an organized religion. I'm not talking about Christianity. I'm not talking about any of these religions. I'm talking about there's a difference between religion and being spiritual, and that's a fact. Everybody, I'm getting out of here.
Tell the truth.
I appreciate you all. Thank you. Maybe I will have a panel one day. This channel is not a panel. This is not a panel podcast, not a panel podcast tonight. But I know that we can have this conversation all night long. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, no matter what our opinions are, Farrakhan called them out. And I'm saying to myself, and I'm saying to you, a part of me is hoping that the young lady's allegations are false. But if they're not false, Rizza would have to be held accountable if and only if the allegations are not found to be false. If they're found to be false and she's ruining the man's name, and I got to be fair about it, if she's ruining the man's name, then the young lady who is his fiance, and that's weird. You've got a fiance, and then you're getting into this. And the Muslim laws say you're not supposed to be doing sex talk and laying in the bed with the woman. You gotta court them for a long time, and you gotta marry them and all that other stuff. If it's found that she's lying, then the same thing goes for her. She must be held accountable for making false allegations against Rizza Islam if it's found that she's not telling the truth. And vice versa, if he did these things, then he must be held accountable. But once again, I'm gonna leave you with this, and I'm gonna leave you with this again and again and again. For Farrakhan to come out and say what he said, I just wonder if Farrakhan did his own internal investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Take care.
Tell the truth.
Thank you. I love you all in the chat room. Love you for the support. Thank you for the super chat, Goddess. Thank you, Yapo. Thank you, Super Mike. Thank you, Cozy. Thank you, Super Mike 2164. Thank you, Jill's Chocolate Boutique. Thank you, Last Call. Thank you, DJ Chuck. Thank you, everybody that came through, even if I didn't get a chance to shout you out. I Excel, thank you. I appreciate you. Jay, thank you for coming over. Jay, CZ Girl, thank you. Nappy Yankee, thank you. Everybody, thank you. It's been great tonight. Take care.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Nothing's ever guaranteed. Nothing's ever guaranteed.
Peace. Thank you, everybody. It's been great.
When nothing's ever guaranteed. There's no love in San Marisa, California. The sun's up, but you can't even trust the air. We could always together. We'd rather go and linger on the beach again. Your love song is sad, but you don't wanna see. If we end up just stabbing and we probably try. You and me could float the weather. Would you rather stay on shore so you can see what's next? Looking to be rescued on the west side, the south side.
The Information Man podcast can be heard on 9 major platforms. On the second YouTube channel as well, Information Man Speaks podcast. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Castbox, SoundCloud, and finally, Spreaker.
When nothing's ever guaranteed. Yeah. Your love's so exotic, 'cause how you had it, yeah. As soon as I got closer, you tried to market it. Same old bullshit. 'Cause you'd rather be with someone who can sponsor it. Looking to be
Tell the
rescued
truth.
on the west side.
You are listening to Information Man
Used to be out of my mind. Trying to come up on a short thing. Or giving up your dreams. When nothing's ever guaranteed. Nothing's ever guaranteed. Yeah. Why put yourself through agony? When nothing's ever guaranteed.
You are listening to Information Man podcast.
You are listening to Information Man.
Have you ever dreamed of a perfect picture? Something you can see so clearly in your mind.
The Information Man podcast can be heard on 9 major platforms. On the second YouTube channel as well, Information Man Speaks podcast. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Castbox, SoundCloud, and finally, Spreaker.
Tell the truth.
tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Like you want it. I swear I'm finna make a move and stop talking. And there ain't nothing you can do that can stop it.